What up, YouTube? Flash Speaks back. Another video. Here we go again, man. Here we go again. With the upcoming game, Clash of the Titans between the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles, which is a rematch. Not a rematch, really, but it is these two teams coming at it again since the NFC Championship game that took place in Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the San Francisco 49ers 31-7. Most people blaming the lopsided score on the health of Brock Purdy and the other quarterbacks who got put out the game. Here, Skip Bayless, Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin give their predictions for this game. And sometimes I feel like I'm an alien, man, in the way that I think and the way that I see sports. But we're going to let these guys say what they had to say today and chime in. I got to give my thoughts on this one.
In the AFC, Buffalo is a nice juggernaut, but at the end of the day, they struggle to show us what we think they could be ultimately in the end. Where the 49ers gone on the road, handed down a team off a bye that won 5 straight in Jacksonville, just beat them down to the point where the next week they go and get a solid Seattle team that have been struggling, and basically they do the same thing. So when you're looking at it, you automatically think, okay, they're healthy now in San Francisco. They've added Chase Young to the equation. Nick Bosa's all of a sudden figured out how to rush the passer again. Deebo Samuel's bringing that extra attitude on the offensive side. You get all the little Brock Purdy's playing like an MVP candidate. You got all that going on, and Philadelphia is clunking along and still compiling wins.
Clunking.
They've been clunking. It hasn't been offensively what we saw a year ago. So people automatically assume that this offense isn't good. There's something.
This is the only thing I got to say about that. People want to say it's been clunking along the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles. It isn't looking the way it looked last season. Well, my only issue with that is typically offenses look great against bad defenses. That's what they do. And they don't look good against good defenses. Like, I disagree with this nonsense, right? So now they want to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. So the big thing now is the 49ers are coming in looking better because over the last 3 games. I mean, they just looked better. And the Philadelphia Eagles aren't looking as good lately. Before I go in on the 49ers, I guess I got to use more analogies now because for some reason people aren't getting this. I don't know, maybe you guys can like and subscribe a little bit, share if you agree with what I'm saying. I think more people need to do this, to understand what I'm trying to say. All right, let's take boxing, for example. I'm a big avid boxing fan, boxing historian, okay? In the era of the 1970s, you had a number of great champions. Among them, you had Muhammad Ali, who was the greatest of that era. You had George Foreman. You had, we're going to take Joe Frazier, who was another champion. Okay? Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali fight each other. The first time they face each other is after Muhammad Ali is released off of his suspension. Joe Frazier wins the fight against Muhammad Ali by decision. Within that fight, he dropped Muhammad Ali for the first time in his career. Okay? Joe Frazier then goes and fights George Foreman. George Foreman destroys Joe Frazier in 2 rounds. Takes him 2 rounds to just wipe the floor with Joe Frazier. Because Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali, and because George Foreman destroyed Joe Frazier, what happened is when Muhammad Ali and George Foreman came together, the heavy favorite was George Foreman. Because people have this, for some reason, people like to assume that because Muhammad Ali had trouble with Joe Frazier and George Foreman didn't have trouble with Joe Frazier, that somehow George Foreman would not have trouble with Muhammad Ali. And this is the problem with people when they analyze sports. And this is applicable to any sport. Sports don't work that way, baby. It does not work that way. Especially when you're talking about heavyweights and the best of the best. Because as we know, Muhammad Ali knocked George Foreman out. He ended up beating Joe Frazier twice, you know, in their trilogy. But he, for some reason, seems to have more trouble with Joe Frazier than he does with George Foreman, right? Why? It's because styles make fights, and sports is about matchups. Let's say that again. Styles make fights, and sports is about matchups. Now, when we go to this football game here, when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, and everything, it is a mistake to look at the last few games these teams played and figure from that this team's going to beat that team because of the way they've been playing. Because number one, you have to look at who they played, and you got to consider more than just the things they're considering. When we talk about like what I disagree with Keyshawn Johnson here said, is he's talking about the way the 49ers looked against the Seattle Seahawks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? The Philadelphia Eagles, listen, their last 3 games, Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills. 49ers last 3 games, Jacksonville Jaguars, Buccaneers and Seahawks. Let's keep it real, okay? The Jacksonville Jaguars have a good record. They have a nice little team. Nobody would deny that. Jacksonville Jaguars are in probably the worst division in football, besides maybe the NFC South or whatever that is. But in the AFC, it's the worst division. Okay? They lose practically to every top team. They look fine when they play teams like the Chargers and so on. But when they play Kansas City, they lose those games. They just don't beat top teams. 49ers beat them. And the 49ers caught them at the right time. This was a 49er team that was coming off of a 3-game losing streak, which everyone is conveniently forgetting about, a 3-game losing streak. Now, people want to say Trent Williams wasn't there, Deebo Samuels wasn't there. Well, that may be true. But what happened against the Browns after the Dallas Cowboys victory, where they were so high in the sky as if they had won the whole universe? What happened with the Browns? What happened? Trent Williams was there. Deebo was there. Though they got hurt in the game, they got hurt in the game. When you get hurt in the game, that means you got beat down. Okay? How did they look against the Browns defense? This is what I'm saying. You want to talk about their offense, this and that, Shanahan, this and that. What did the Browns think of that defense? The 49ers put up 17 points against the Browns. That's because you're facing a better defense. This is my point. Right? Just because, and it may be possible that Dallas will beat the Browns. It's conceivable. Those things can happen. But the 49ers lose to the Browns because it's about matchups. It's about styles making the fight. Right? So this is the mistake that they make. You're assuming that, and then it's just ridiculous because, when you look at the Eagles' last game against Buffalo, the Seahawks, I don't care about the record. Buffalo is better than the Seahawks because the man at the helm, Josh Allen, is better than some damn Geno Smith. Okay? Geno Smith had a good season last year, but Josh Allen has been good for the last 4 to 5 years. Okay? Before that, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are you impressed by beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-14? And then the Jags, like we just mentioned. Whereas the Eagles had to play the Dallas Cowboys, who people are saying, people right now pumping them up, beating the team to beat, and all of this kind of stuff. And then they had to face the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the reigning Super Bowl champions. You're talking about the Eagles had to really get up for that game. You got to get up for Dallas, then get up for the Chiefs, and then turn around and play Buffalo at home, which was really a trap game, but the Eagles gutted it out to win because they got the 49ers coming up. That is the most impressive stretch that's going on in the league. And if people don't admit that, they don't understand football. To get up constantly for these opponents is not easy. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead.
Wrong with it. Then defensively, they've given up a lot of yardage, even though they win games and they get crucial stops, much like the Cowboys did last night. Gave up a lot of yards, but when it counted most, they got the stops. And that's just part of it. Doesn't mean that San Francisco's going to win the game. That's why I got Philly winning.
Before you go, Michael, are you sure, Keyshawn, you're not picking more with your heart than your head? Because we do have a dinner bet on Dallas winning the division.
I'm picking with both. I'm picking picking with both. That's what I'm doing.
I don't know if you can pick with both. They're mutually exclusive. One takes over the other, right? I don't think they're 50.
Skip wants to paint this narrative that the 49ers are head and shoulders above the Eagles, even though they have more losses. I don't get it. Where are they head and shoulders? But we'll wait till you get into his part, because it's really his part that I'm going to dismantle.
50.
Man, I make mine 50-50. Right. My heart tells me one thing and my brain tells me another. That's all.
Which do you listen to? In your life, what have you listened to?
I listen depending on the situation is what I do. Right now, as far as the Eagles go,
your heart will get you in trouble.
I'm picking the Eagles with my brain. I'm picking the 49ers I'm not picking the 49ers with my heart. That's the difference.
Okay.
Emotional decisions.
Yeah.
They're not really choices. You know, like if I say something to you funny, you don't decide to laugh, you just laugh. If I say
Listen to this crap, right? If you say the Eagles are going to win, you're being emotional because it's so logical that the 49ers are going to win, right? Even though they lost to the Browns and the Vikings, right? Because if they lose one wide receiver in Trent Williams, they can't beat the Browns. But we're not going to talk about how Jalen Hurts and the Bills just beat the Bills without Lane Johnson, his best right tackle, and without Dallas Goedert as tight end, right? We're not going to talk about that though, right? Okay. Dallas Goedert, who by the way is more productive player than Deebo Samuels. Yeah, that guy.
something to you that hurts.
No, I decide to laugh because
you don't say.
I decide to laugh because if you say something to me that you think is funny and it's not, I ain't gonna laugh.
I got you. Let me tell you where I am with this game. I can tell you this. I've never been more vexed in picking a game in my life. This is the hardest game I've ever had to pick because I just love what I see in Philadelphia. I love the fight that I see in Philadelphia. And we can talk about each week one-score games. And I always say, when you're winning games, we're talking about your flaws. So we talk about Philly flaws. But when you're losing games, we're talking about issues and problems. When you lose, it's issues and problems. When you're winning, we're just talking about flaws. And Philly has flaws, but they haven't really had any issues because they found ways to win football games. And what helped them win is I talk about it. Not just the great skill, but their deep will. They want to win this championship. They want to do it together. I love that. But I got to go here with San Francisco. I said to myself, here, you know how hard it is to win a game after you play such an emotional game like Philly won last week. And then I started thinking about, wait a minute, wait. Philly didn't just have an emotional game last week against the Bills. They had an emotional game the week before that against Kansas City. And they had an emotional game the week before that against Dallas.
The only place I disagree, I get where Michael Irvin is going. The only thing I disagree with, I do not believe the game against the Bills was emotional. I believe the game against Kansas City, without a doubt, was emotional. The game against Dallas, without a doubt, was emotional. Last week was a classic trap game that the Eagles overcame. That's what's impressive about it. There is no emotional content. There's no emotional component to playing the Bills. The Bills are in a different conference. It's not for the division. There's no beef between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. There's nothing there. Okay? An emotional thing would be like this game against the 49ers. Last week was a trap game that the Eagles overcame in the second half through adjustments and through great play.
Say this, hey, it's incredibly impressive what Philly has done over these last few weeks. I cannot think it's possible for them to continue at this rate. The only other team that did it was the 72 Dolphins. I know they already got one loss, so I know there's no way they're going through this. I ended up at 31-28 over tossing and turning all night on this 31-28 San Francisco. San Francisco's going to run the ball. Kyle Shanahan's going to say, I'm going to wear down that defensive line. I'm going to run the ball. And later on, I'm going to open the ball up and throw it against that secondary. That's how they're going to take a lead. I got them 31-28, but it's going to be a battle. Hey, you better be ready to give up everything you have to win this game, San Fran, because Philly will make you take it.
Sound like you pick it.
Listen, it is possible that San Francisco could win the game. I'm never going to pick against this particular Eagles team because they've already exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect to win last week against the Bills. And the Chiefs, I thought, was a tough spot in Arrowhead. So I'm not going to pick against these guys. But I tell you what, I'm concerned about Lane Johnson's health. Right, he missed last week. I don't know that you get over a groin injury, just in a week. But he's going to gut it out. Okay, good. Dallas Goedert not coming back yet is a problem for me. I think against this particular defense, Jalen Hurts will need Dallas Goedert. That's like, the San Francisco 49ers coming in to us without Kittle. I think they would have no shot against us without Kittle. So that's more so what I'm concerned about from that standpoint. But, because I think you need to be at full strength to beat the 49ers. But I'm not doubting against this team.
With your heart.
I did what I did. I gave it how I gave it.
What you did.
Best I could. I was vexed with it.
Michael Irvin, forgive me for this, but this is actually an easy pick for me because I think San Francisco is significantly better than Philadelphia. All of your will, I get that. I love Jalen Hurts. I hate to love Jalen Hurts.
Oof, my cable internet bill exploded.
That's some yada yada. But Metro has 5G home internet for $20 if you're eligible, with no exploding bills and not a yada yada.
Good. I'm tired of rearranging these.
5G home internet for $20. Only at Metro.
I hate to love Jalen Hurts because
I apologize about that. That was horrible. I don't know what's up with that commercial. That was horrible.
he's not on my team. He used to be on my team because I root for Oklahoma.
Right.
But he is made of the lightest stuff you've ever seen. And he is hard to overcome. But his team around him is not good enough to hang with. You mentioned the term, Keyshawn, juggernaut. The juggernaut.
What is his evidence of this? What the hell are you talking about? The team around Jalen Hurts is not good enough to hang with the 49ers. Around Jalen Hurts is Jason Kelce, all-pro center. Lane Johnson, all-pro tackle. Jordan Mailata, Pro Bowl tackle. What the hell is he talking about? Landon Dickerson, a Pro Bowl damn guard. What is this guy talking about? You're talking about DeAndre Swift, who will be 1,000-yard back, who everybody knows what type of talent he has. You're talking about A.J. Brown, who will be an all-pro wide receiver. Devontae Smith, 96 catches last year. What are you talking about? Dallas Goedert, a Pro Bowl level tight end. What are you talking about? They don't have no. He says some of the stupidest things that I've never heard in my life. Then if you look at the defense, I get it. The Eagles do not have the best secondary, but you want to tell me that defensive line that had 70 some odd sacks last year, who this year is still one of the teams is leading the league in pressures. You talking about those two guys in the middle? You talking about the number one team against the run? He don't have a team around. This is the stupidest take that this stupid old buzzard can come with. Now I get you don't like the Eagles, but dude, have some concern for your reputation as an analyst. You sound stupid. How the hell are you 10-1, but he don't have a team around him? So you saying the Eagles are all Jalen Hurts? If that's the case, then he better be your MVP over Dak Prescott. Stupid, man.
This Sunday is the one from San Francisco. It is loaded on both sides of the ball. You bring up Ufanga, he's not there. They're going to miss him slowly but surely over time, but not this week, I don't think. The Eagles' defense is gettable. It's torchable. It's allowing the 20th most points per game in the league. It's 30th in stopping opponents on third down. And I'm not being a hypocrite here because we couldn't stop Geno Smith on third down last night.
Yeah, you are. But it's all right. That's what you do.
9-14. But still, I'm going to say it again. They have played actually 4 straight very emotional cliffhanger games because they had their division rival Washington, and they barely beat them 17-10 before Dallas, and before Kansas City, before Buffalo. All 4 times.
Washington won no damn 17-10. It was in the 30s. What is he talking about? They didn't play Washington 17-10.
Times they trailed at halftime. All 4 times the opponent outgained them. It's impossible to win 4 straight.
That means nothing if you're not getting in the end zone. And oftentimes, he doesn't pay attention, or he does, but he's insincere. The Philadelphia Eagles will be equivalent. They will be equal with the other team in yardage until you get to the fourth quarter. Now, if you're talking about the Chiefs and the Bills, I don't care. You got to do whatever you have to do to win those games. The goal is not to go out there and get more yards than the Chiefs. The goal is to beat the Chiefs.
Great that way, but they did it. But they are on borrowed time. There's a lot of luck involved in winning those games, and there's a lot of emotion spent in winning those 4 games. Borrowed time, and
it's also lucky to get on your schedule 4 damn teams that are sub 500 in a row, and then to be able to put up all these damn points, and people think because of that you're an MVP. That's lucky as well. That's actually more lucky than anything.
Luck department and in the emotion department, and to me, I believe San Francisco is going to go in there and do to them basically what they did to Dallas and what they did when they went to Jacksonville. Heck, what they did 2 weeks ago when they went up to a week ago when they went up to Seattle. They love to go on the road and just scorched earth it. Just leave you wondering who are we? What are we? And I think they're going to do that to Philadelphia.
This is what it is. Skip Bayless refuses to acknowledge that the Philadelphia Eagles are better than the Dallas Cowboys. He wants to come with this narrative that, I don't know, somehow they just luckily having a better record, but Dallas is better, and 49ers destroyed Dallas. So in order for him to feel better about the Cowboys, he needs the 49ers to destroy the Eagles. He's wishing and hoping it happens. Well, he's been wishing and hoping for the last couple of weeks that the Eagles will lose, and that hasn't so far. So, good luck, Skip.
I'll say it's a 10-point game. I'll say it's 30-20 visiting team. And I didn't lose any sleep over it. I feel very confident. And Keyshawn, by the way, if I'm right about this, all of a sudden, Philadelphia will be coming to Dallas only 1 game ahead of Dallas, only 1 game. And they have to play at a place where we have won 14 straight games. Yeah. And if Dallas somehow, some way lucks out and wins that game against Philadelphia, we will be tied and you will be in deep you-know-what.
Yeah, but here's what I would say to that, Skip. Mm-hmm. Those 14 wins didn't come against teams that eventually either gone to the Super Bowl, won the division, have 10 wins in a season. They just didn't come against those type of teams. I hate to sit up here. I hate to sit up here and feel like I have
Philly's
to. I hate to have to. Yeah, Philly.
Philly's in that list last year,
Come, Michael.
I'm just saying.
Michael. They had already clinched. They did not play their starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But I hate to sit up here. I hate to sit up here, Skip and Michael, and feel like I got to cross-examine y'all every single time like I'm in somebody's damn courtroom and I went to law school. But I am going to do this because
that's the most pathetic thing the Dallas Cowboys fans bring up is the game against Gardner Minshew. It's completely pathetic. The Eagles had leads in that game. With Gardner Minshew, they were behind. They should be ashamed of their team. They were actually behind to the Gardner Minshew-led Eagles going into the fourth quarter. Gardner Minshew turned the ball over twice to Deron Bland, something Jalen Hurts has never done. He don't turn the ball over against Dallas. He don't turn it over against them. So Deron Bland gave the Cowboys short field goals against that Gardner Minshew-led team, and they brag about that. Say 40 points on the defense and all of that. These dudes have no type of honor or anything like it or any integrity. It's like it's a crazy fan base to deal with, y'all.
One of the things that both of you said, if it's true or not, I don't know, because I never felt this way as a player.
Whoa, the new iPhone 15. With that amazing camera, I'll be sharing pics from this phone. You do not want to see yourself skiing. You look like a marshmallow.
Join T-Mobile and get 4 new iPhone 15s on us and 4 lines of unlimited for $25 a line.
You talked about the emotional side that is pulled out of you. You lose some of that. The all 4 and 5 games of winning and doing all of those sort of things to win football games. And I asked both of you. The Dallas Cowboys last night had a very emotional win, did they not?
Yes.
They did. Yeah. They had to come from behind and they had to absorb all this energy. And when it was over with, they felt like, oh my God.
Right.
Their next opponent is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right. 10 days from now. 10 days.
All the research talks about 7 days, not 10 days.
So now the extra 3 days is going to help release or bring back that emotion, is what you're trying to tell me.
No, that's what the research says. That's what the research said. I don't know that stuff.
Did you speak to as they would say, did you speak to a research expert, analyst, Mr.?
Well, these guys are happy because the Eagles are set up perfectly for them, right? And this is a concern for me. I'm just going to sit back and watch and just be amazed, okay? The Philadelphia Eagles are facing the San Francisco 49ers, shorthanded, number one. And then secondly, the 49ers have 10 days rest, while the Eagles had to finish playing on Sunday afternoon. So the 49ers have 3 days rest, okay? And then after they play the 49ers, then they have to play the Dallas Cowboys, who will be coming off a 10-day rest, right? That is the most brutal schedule there is. And I'm telling you, if the Philadelphia Eagles defeat those 49ers, I don't want to hear nothing from none of you 49er fans. And then if they turn around and beat the Dallas Cowboys, I definitely don't want to hear nothing about you from any of y'all anymore for the rest of the season, because we would have humiliated you if you lose, okay? Because it's so set up for you to win. Because I know for a fact that you'll still feel proud of your team if they win under these circumstances. That's how you are. Whereas for me, it's either way, because I know we the best team in the league, so it doesn't matter to me. I know what's gonna happen in the playoffs anyway. I'm gonna end it right there, man. I don't want this video to be no daggone half hour, 40 minutes or anything like that, man. But just wanted to put that out there. This dude Skip Bayless is crazy, man. Peace.